What's up guys, Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review today, doing a game from the Project PBE Major. This is the tournament that Project PBE feeds into. Day 1 was yesterday, and Day 2 is actually today. If you're watching this video right now, we are probably live right now with Day 2. I am going to live stream, co-streaming with Kai Watanabe, so go check out my Twitch or just my YouTube live right now, and I'm probably live if you're watching this anytime soon after this video has gone out. But Day 1 was pretty crazy. We actually have a very, just nice mix of people competing, a lot of Chinese, Vietnamese, NA, EU, just basically players from all around the world competing at this. And it is essentially a world's level competition. I mean, you look at the people who are playing in this tournament, and you have people like Coined, like Goboster, like Send, fantastic European players, NA players, like Philip, 149CM, who was the first place player overall, stay alive, a literal, world champion here. I mean, it's a crazy stacked tournament, and like I said, 149CM won over them all. So I wanted to do a VOD review of his game, one of the games that he played on the tournament. This was a really interesting game. Showed how to play around really just this augment that I've talked about it before. And I knew this augment was broken, and I think I didn't even realize how broken it was until watching a few people who played at this game. And 149CM also made some interesting decisions this game. And this is my first time ever doing some TFT investigative journalism, where I said, oh, that's an interesting decision that this player made. I wonder why they made it. And, I started looking into it for a little while, and then I said, I'm just going to go on Discord and DM the player and ask them. And I went on Discord, DM'd him, and he replied and said, hey, yeah, this is why I did this thing. And I said, oh, well, thank you very much. And so we will talk through that when we get there. But yeah, I mean, we start off almost a timebreaker opener, half a timebreaker opener. You must hold this, and we're holding onto these Nova units, of course. We have a duplicator, which makes us a little bit, well, certainly makes us want to play into some kind of reroll line, so we'll see that when we get to it. Silver augment start, and we see Expedition. So I already did a VOD review of Expedition, like way back, like right after PBE came out. And at the time, I thought this augment was very solid. But maybe not like crazy broken. And after watching the games that were was played in this tournament, basically every single time somebody took this augment, they every time someone was offered this augment, they took it. Like it was just an absolute crazy, 100% of the time, and 100% of the time people were offered this augment and took it. They played a very specific line, and so we are going to watch 149, and there's actually another Expedition player in this lobby, so both of them are going to go for this very specific line that we will talk through as we get a little bit closer into the late game. You will also see that 149CM is playing this in a way that's actually a little different than how I talked about it originally. When I saw this augment, at first I thought the optimal way to play it was going to be make gold for the first few rounds, and then start feeding it. But it seems like after people have kind of optimized it, the idea is, you just feed this thing straight from the start. I know it griefs your econ a little bit, but especially with either Primordian opener or this Timebreaker opener, you can still, make a little bit of gold and still be feeding this thing 2 costs and 3 costs right from the start. And, as you can see here, we've already made our first 10. I will say, I think this augment is a lot better in any kind of econ. I would say portal, but god selection, anything like an Ari is really nice to be able to provide you that extra early game econ. Something like an Evelyn I think is really nice in that way as well, just to say, okay, I know we're gonna be kind of broke this game because we're feeding our units straight from the start, but anything that kind of help us recoup that gold I think is really nice. It's interesting though that we take Ari Hex here. There is a very big downside to not taking Yasuo here, because spoiler alert, I mean, we have this chain vest already. We go into carousel there. We end up taking a cloak here. We are looking at, gargoyles components here. We are looking at playing a Mighty Mech game from this spot. That is literally from 2-1. the only line that anyone ever plays from this comp. Now, why is that? Well, why would we play this just straight into a Mighty Mech comp? Also, ooh, this is a fun use of the duplicator here. Just, yeah, dupe the Kaisa so we can feed the Hex. That's yeah, that's pretty cool. Why would we play this in a Mighty Mech? There's one reason, basically. And the reason is that this augment grants you a Radiant Refactor. And with Radiant Refactor, you can turn any item that you want into a Radiant. That kind of selection on a Radiant item is just absolutely broken for a comp like this. Having that kind of selection means that you can just pick the best Radiant item in the game in this comp and make it every single time. And that's what 149CM does this game, and that's what everyone who plays this comp does every single time they play it, is they make Radiant Gargoyle onto the Mighty Mech. And so you can see here, we're even potentially going to just slam out the Radiant Gargoyle. Okay, we are just slam out the regular Gargoyle. We don't slam it just yet, but I mean, certainly something that we are looking at making here. Also, this is a pretty close fight. Do we? I did not see this. Okay, we do not lose to Krugs. This is actually a perfect win against Krugs. I mean, great job by 149CM to not lose to Krugs. That's definitely something good. But I mean, to get very close and, you know, not overcommit on any kind of resources. Also, obviously, we are lost streak in this spot. We actually didn't even full lost streak here, so we don't even get the second anvil. But this is also another comp that one of these comps that really, really likes, you know, full lost streaking, guaranteeing those anvils, then making perfect items and playing into it. So it's just a match made in heaven. Lost streak, get perfect items, make the perfect Radiant items, and then, you know, win out from there, usually. Second augment here, Epic World exclusive Blood Offering. You really, when you take this augment, want Econ to supplement it. Epic Rolldown is a really, really nice option here. It doesn't give you gold back, but we're already making 50 gold, you know, maybe 40 gold here. Also, this is really smart here. Throws in Arbiter as this Econ trait here. So he says, you know what, I'll do that every 4 seconds, 18% chance to spawn a Leona. And hey, if my fight lasts, you know, 16 seconds, 20 seconds, I have pretty good odds at that point of then making a Leona, and that's +1 gold. It's kind of, Mom, can we put Primordial on our board? We have Primordial at home, and this is Primordial at home, which is not even, you know, not even the worst. We are going to make the Gargoyle here, and you can see already we make a Void Staff here, which is actually pretty interesting item priority in this comp, because for most people, this first bow is going towards making a Titan's Resolve. Most people say, you know, you must make Titans in this comp. Getting the CC immunity onto the Mighty Mech is really, really nice, obviously. Also, you know, you play this Udyr style board where, you know, he has Gargoyle, Steerax, and then the Titan's Resolve, and then he, you know, stacks that up very, very quickly, then solo frontlining him, and then pops off here. But you can see we're already then scouting this other Mighty Mech player. They have the Golden Dragon plus Archangels plus Steerax, and the Golden Dragon, kind of a hilarious idea where we can go for a Radiant item plus the Mogul's Mail here and just go for a crazy big Mighty Mech, which is hilarious, and we'll see how it goes for that player. But we know we are going to be contested in Mighty Mech, and so I want you to just keep that in mind as we keep thinking about items. We are going to take the 10 EXP here as well. It's interesting. So these Yasuo hexes are really good for Mighty Mech. In particular, the Ice Hex is really, really, really broken, just because healing the Mighty Mech, essentially, you know, 40, I mean, it's just a 40% heal. I don't know why I said essentially, but giving the Mighty Mech a 40% HP heal, it's just broken, because this unit already has such a big HP pool, especially, you know, on top of something like this Radiant Gargoyles. So making that Radiant Gargoyles go even further beyond, so it is just broken. Oh yeah, there is also a third player who is Expedition in this lobby, who once again, Gargoyle plus Void Staff slam. So a third player looking at playing Mighty Mech, which is just hilarious. And they already have one Mighty Mech, so it starts to get a little bit scary at this point, looking at, you know, this guy who already has Mighty Mech. But yeah, like you already, you do really, really like these Yasuo hexes onto the Mighty Mech. As far as Yasuo hexes that you can put onto your backline, the Solar Hex pretty good, you know, granting heal cut, and then the other one that is you know, very nice and kind of obvious is just the stun one, because the Acel hits, you know, basically the entire board as he's just going flying around the entire board. We are going to feed this Alawi here. We are almost at the Mighty Mech here, which is really, really nice. And yep, you can see we cash out here. We get the Bard. The funny thing about it is, you know, obviously you cash at 5 costs. oftentimes you don't even see 5 costs, you know, played on this board, but the Fiora and Bard are actually pretty good plays, so we can play them. We make the Radiant Gargoyle immediately here without making another single item, so just really good priority from 149CM. And now we are going to make our choice of what to build in this spot here. So first we're going to take the sword here because we want to really prioritize Sterak's here. Then, you know, I think, you know, taking something like a Chain Vest makes a lot of sense, even from kind of a natural spot of playing this comp. And then looks like, yeah, we're going to roll down first here. He does make Karma 2 here, which actually is a pretty scary build here just because it does eat into our gold a lot, and he does make TK2 as well, to the point where they're like, wait a minute, we're kind of broke in this spot here. But he does get the Mighty Mech in, he does make the Gargoyle here, and this is the spot where I saw how 149CM played this line, and I said, huh, that's actually a very interesting way to do it, because he has the Radiant Gargoyle here. I think 9 out of 10 players here would take the bow here and make the Titans in this spot here. And he says, no, I'm going to take the rod here, opens up this anvil here, and then takes the cloak here and makes double Gargoyle in this spot. And so you might be saying, wait, what? We completely skipped out on Titans. Sure, we made Archangel. That's a great item. But why? Did we just do this because of item economy? Because we want to get to Archangels? And no, this player actually, in his opinion, double Gargoyles is the best build on ASOL. It is Sterak's double Gargoyles is his BIS on this unit, and we'll talk about that more a little bit after Augment here. I think, yeah, Duo Q, just a good pickup here to give us some gold and some components here. Does end up rolling past Gilded Steel, which I think is a good option as well, but I think he really wants the combination of the components, and also, you know, maybe some 5 costs to play around here. You know, some extra gold to roll down is really important in this spot. We finally pick up the ASOL here, can Mighty Mech both of these guys here, and we are playing this version of the board here. A lot of different versions of the board can be played. You know, you'll see, you know, the TK2 probably has to go on this board just because he's a TK2, but you'll see either, yeah, this Mordekaiser Karma setup here. You'll see a lot of people play Nova on this board just because the heal onto the Mighty Mech is good. That is what I would say the strongest, just kind of like default. Is just 2 Nova, Akali plus Maokai here, and, you know, getting the spell kit from Akali is really nice, and we are just going to continue to roll down, praying that we can find the Mighty Mech 2 in such a contested lobby. But okay, let's go back to this double slam here, the double Gargoyle slam here. It's not actually related to the Radiant at all. When I DM'd 149CM and asked him about it, he said, you know, this is just like in the default version of this comp, his opinion, the BIS. One, because if you do just pull up the stats, under normal circumstances, these items are about the same. Titan's Resolve and Gargoyles onto this unit. They have pretty similar stats, even though, you know, I think a lot of people think about this line from the perspective of you must have boom Sterak's Gargoyle, and then the Titan's Resolve. No, not really the case here. Also, he was really hoping for maybe a Fiora 2 off Carousel, but I mean, that would have been a little too high roll, wouldn't it be? But yeah, a lot of people are thinking of this as a, oh my god, and there's another tech that I have to talk about here with Tom Kench as well. But yeah, a lot of people are thinking about this as you need these 3 specific BIS items. Not really. You need Gargoyles for sure. You need Sterak's, essentially, though there are some items that can even potentially replace Sterak's, but Gargoyle really core, and Sterak's really core. And then you need a third item, which is usually Titans, but can be, you know, Gargoyle fits perfectly fine into this line as well. So one, that is a cool innovation. The other thing that 149CM said that I thought was really smart here is we know, and I can even just pause on, you know, one of these guys playing the line, or actually it's even better to pause on this board here. We know that there are going to be a number of mirror matchups. There are going to be 2 mirror matchups in this game here. This player is us, but they have a Titan's Resolve instead of a Gargoyle here. In the mirror matchup, Gargoyles is always going to win. If you have the exact same board as this player, Gargoyles will beat them, because this is actually a board that doesn't have any CC on it. There's no real value in having Titan's Resolve versus this board. You think about, you know, other boards in this game, stuff like a like any kind of board that has like a Nunu on it, okay, those type of boards, you really have to worry about, being CC'd. And so if you're in a lobby where there's a lot of like Nunus and things like that, even Shen is a pretty annoying unit because he provides the AS reduction, though a lot of the attack speed that you're getting, or a lot of the mana generation that you're getting onto this dude is via damage taken, so the attack speed, not even the end of the world. But yeah, like any kind of lobby with a ton of major CC in it, and the easiest shorthand for that is a lot of Nunus. You do want to be building Titan's Resolve, but we know in this lobby there's 2 people playing Mighty Mech, and if we rotate into them, especially on 19 HP, we're pretty low here. It's going to be quite important for us to be able to win that mirror matchup, and that's exactly what Double Gargoyle does here. It means that when you are fighting that player, you're just getting more raw tankiness on to the Mighty Mech. The other thing that he said is just that it passes the eye test for him, that he's built it a lot of times, and it's felt very good. And you do think about it, versus a lot of boards, this is very good. Versus somebody like a Blitzcrank here, you do have to be careful not to get your Mighty Mech Blitzcrank punched here, but we position against it, and boom, the Blitzcrank CC is not on our Mighty Mech. That's the only meaningful CC on this board, and we pick up a win here. Like, every single fight, as long as you are thinking about these things, it's going to be very easy. Nunu is the big one, where Nunu is basically always going to be able to CC your Mighty Mech. So if it is a heavy Nunu lobby, you do need to watch out for that. But it's not. I mean, I don't know if anyone's even playing Nunu. Nunu is not even that popular of a board these days. Also, check out this really cool board from this other player here who had the Evelyn's augment, or the Evelyn's artifact onto the Gwen here, and is just jumping around and clearing the entire board. Okay, so that's all of that stuff. And then something else about Tahm Kench, who we have since actually cut on our board to play this kind of like more capped version, playing around this Karma plus Mordekaiser pair plus extra good units like Fiora Shen. The Tahm Kench is actually an insanely good stage 4 out in this comp to play for stage 4 for 1 cash. Why is that? Well, Tahm Kench's caches, when he provides you units, they're very, very tailored to your board. And so what you can do is you can roll down, hit one of the upgrades exactly like we did this game, hit the 2-star the Acel on this board, and then just have a pair of Mighty Mechs. And what Tahm Kench will do is he will just farm you that last unit that you need here. And it happened exactly the way we drew it up in this game here. We had the Acel 2, and then we had the Mighty Mech pair. And Tahm Kench, when he did that spit out an extra Mighty Mech here, which allowed us to complete our Mighty Mech and put us in this spot that is just absolutely fantastic. So yeah, really be thinking about playing Tahm Kench on your boards here, because it can, feed you that second copy or third copy, which is just so important in spots like this. Also, you can see there, we fight the mirror matchup and we win, and it's very, very close, but the Double Gargoyle is just so good in that mirror matchup. It's in these situations where you don't need any kind of CC immunity. You can just play for this and have a great time of it. All right. We do rotate into Coinid here, who has this really, really, really strong Victor board, has just kind of made it to a very nice setup here. And so we are going to lose to this just because Victor, a tough matchup, does have the ability to just nuke the Mighty Mech in a way that most boards do not here. And so we do lose that fight. It's also interesting, I mean, because we have no Bard items, we're playing Bard. I think this is, getting to a very high capped version of the board. Fiora, the best Marauder that you can play on this board as you reach out further into the game, and also because we have Spell Crit already. We don't really feel a need to play Nova on this board. I know Bard statistically is quite good on this board. Oh yeah, and we pick up the Jhin too here, which is really cool. And so we are going to, just play this, lose out on the Chandler finally on this board, but just move these AD items onto Jhin, which is, once again, it's a pretty cool idea. And he is, going to do pretty decent with these items. He's not, the most insane damage dealer in the world, but a nice unit to kind of supplement your damage that you already have here. And look how close this fight is. Probably another Gargoyle diff, honestly, just having the Mighty Mech be tanky enough to win fights like this. But yeah, going to continue to roll down here. And I mean, the rest is history. We're 13 HP here. We're in the top 3 here. Expedition, just, I mean, such a good pickup here. And I feel like we just played it perfectly here. And yeah, at this point, since we are no longer playing around Urgot in a meaningful way, we're actually going to get the Fioras out and play the Morgana onto this board here. So one more mirror matchup for us here versus Ringo. Problem is Ringo's board's getting quite strong with this fight. Very close. We do end up winning it. And it's a top 2 here. I mean, I think out of this Gargoyle Slam with the Radiant Gargoyle, I think we ended up winning a significant amount of fights. Like, we swung so many fights just by being able to win the mirror matchup in these setups here. we are going to rotate once more into this this board here. We do just need to make sure that we're swapping our Mighty Mech and, tanking aggro versus this board, but it has reached out level 9, actually capped out very, very high. Can the Mighty Mech hold on as long as possible? It does hold on for a while here. This Nami here does go down, so we have at least one more fight after the carousel item here. Just going to take Edge of Night here for the Fiora. Such a good item on her. I've talked a million times about how important this aggro drop is, and he does actually reforge a couple of times here, saying, one item Jhin, is that really going to do anything? I'd rather have, just anything else here. Ends up getting Protector's Vow and is just going to throw that onto the Urgot here. Nice no swap as swap here. They just swap right to the middle, right onto the Mighty Mech here. And so we'll see if the Fiora and our Asol can do enough here. Our front line goes down too quickly, though, and we do end up losing this game. A very, very solid top 2 from 149 CM. And just a really cool game showing on how to play around this comp. All these little min-maxes that are going to be so important for this comp as we go live. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Twitch and Metafy. I'll make the links down below, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, as always. Bye.